guys, it's Iga and Andrew from AftermathReviews.com, and today we're bringing you a review of the movie Thor, which came out on May 6th.
It's not easy to do what you did. You made my men look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops. That's hurtful. Would you like to tell me where you received your training? Afghanistan? Chechnya? Who are you?
So Thor takes place in two places, Asgard and Earth. Asgard is this mystical world. There's 9 planets, or 9 worlds, I guess. They're called realms. And Earth's one of them, and Asgard's another. And Asgard kind of keeps control of the rest. King of Asgard is Odin, and Thor is his son. As punishment for recklessly going into starting a war, basically, with one of the other realms, Thor is cast to Earth as punishment and forced to live as a human until he proves himself as a worthy hero.
Right, so I found that Thor adapted to Earth life pretty quickly, except his language and his demeanor were still from his other world, and it made for a lot of funny moments.
It was really cool. It was nice to see him kind of talking as if he was like a knight of the round table sort of thing. And that's where he meets Natalie Portman, which is Jane Foster, and they kind of have that kind of love interest thing going on. So the story kind of revolves around that as well, and it's really interesting.
So the movie was directed by Irish-born Kenneth Branagh. He's an actor/director, but he's not too widely known, but did a great job in this movie as far as I'm concerned.
He did a good job. I don't have a clue who he is, but he did a good job. And the actors are Chris Hemsworth, who's Thor, Odin, who is Anthony Hopkins, awesome, and then Natalie Portman is Jane Foster, the love interest, like I previously mentioned.
And the villain, Loki, is played by Tom Hiddleston.
Hiddleston, yeah. He's actually fairly unknown, but he did a really good job.
He looked the part as well.
Definitely looked the part, yeah, that gross look back hair. Yeah. So Chris Hemsworth as Thor, I thought he did a really good job. He hasn't been too many other things. He was in Captain Kirk's father in Star Trek, that I forced you to watch, and there was he was also he put in the Getaway with Mila Djokovic, or however you say her last name. He was a guy in that. It wasn't a huge role for him, but he really impressed me in this. I wasn't sure what he was gonna do, but he performed it perfectly. The accent he had going was awesome, and I think he was great. Yeah,
he was a really likable character, and he executed really well. I think the script helped him a lot as well.
Definitely, but he was very likable. It was easy to believe him as Thor. He was also gigantic, so that also helps. He's like 6-something. He's like 6-something and huge. But and then there was, speaking of easy on the eyes, Natalie Portman.
Okay, we're gonna fight after this.
Yeah, Natalie Portman was awesome. She did a good job as Jane Foster. I thought she did a really good job.
I think she kind of sold herself short. I don't like her in these roles. Yeah, I mean, this is somebody who got nominated for Black Swan. I think. Yeah. I could have seen anyone in that role.
True. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I enjoyed her in the role. I think she did the part. She was a supporting character. She was nothing. She wasn't a main character, I don't think, as much as Anthony Hopkins, who had less screen time, but just presented it so much better than everyone else. I mean, he's obviously a great actor, and as Odin, which is King of Asgard, and it was a perfect role for him. Yeah,
he had this wise, loving demeanor about him, and as a father and a king, he played that role well.
I think he plays those roles perfectly.
Yeah, he's good for that. So what did you think of the overall presentation of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, the way the film looked was awesome. I think that Asgard is kind of like this medieval futuristic city in a sense. They wear like armor and that, and it's like almost castle based, but at the same time everything's very futuristic and mystical and fantasy based. So when you saw the shots of Asgard, that was like, for me, the best looking part of the movie.
I think like the CGI fight scenes were wicked too.
Yeah.
They were really visually stimulating and very entertaining.
When he's fighting the ice giants, that was really good too.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Nothing looked odd. Everything looked like it was meant to be. There was a couple times when Thor was flying through the air, looked a little bit but for the most part, I thought the visuals were awesome.
The hammer too, though.
Yeah?
Kind of cheesy.
When he's swinging it? What cheesy? It's part of the character.
It's a hammer.
Oh, it's part of the character. You can't say that.
I guess. I'm not a diehard comic book fan.
Yeah, Thor, he's always had a hammer. That's just the way it goes. But you did say something about that robot with the shoots the beam out.
Yeah, I hated that. Reminded me of Power Rangers.
Yeah, you really weren't a fan of the visuals.
I wasn't. It looked like it was from the 90s.
I understand. I mean, it's from the comic book, so I get why they put it in there, but he's not. Yeah, I can see why someone watching the movie would be like, it's a little out of place.
It was out of place. Yeah. So I guess it's time for the overall.
Yeah, overall.
What's the verdict?
Well, for me, I'm a comic book fan, so I was pretty geeky going into this, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't know too much about Thor. He's not one of those superheroes that everyone knows about, which I think really benefited this film, because with that whole mystical side of stuff, it's all tied in with the Avengers. That's what Marvel's doing right now. So everything kind of, they're all going to be in one film together, and Thor's the only one out of that bunch who's like magic based, which is kind of cool because it takes a whole different outlook on things, and you're accepting of it in this film. And I thought I was going to be really reluctant to be like, the magic and like Iron Man and him, that's going to be a weird tie up, but honestly it works really well. I really appreciated the fantasy side of it. And overall, I thought this film was great. The acting was awesome. Thor was good when he came down to Earth. He wasn't completely like an idiot. He had some idea of what was going on. So the whole time,
it didn't take away from the storyline to have him like, he didn't learn like the ways of Earth or anything like that. So
exactly, it didn't take up like 20 minutes of him trying to figure out how to walk around, which was good. And overall, I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna give this film a 90%. Yeah, how about you?
Okay, well, I have never heard of Thor. I'm not a huge comic book hero fan. But it was really good. It was like a fantasy.
Yeah.
And it had a good mix of elements. I know apparently I always say that, but it really did. It had humor, it had drama.
It was good.
It had romance.
Yeah, a little bit of romance, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and give it an 80%.
80%? Oh, that's not so bad, yeah. Something else to mention is stay for the credits. There's a scene at the end, just like there is with all the other Avenger type movies, all the lead-in ones like Iron Man and the Hulk. And there's a few, I don't know, probably like 30 seconds or maybe a minute scene, and
he almost left. I had to make him stay.
I know, I was getting bored, but because I'm not sure they're going to tie it in, but they do. They tie something pretty important in, and I think it does tie in with the Avengers movie.
It was cool.
His fate is in his own hands now.
I will end this.
What are you wishing for? Oh.